Welcome back. You're watching Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18. And let's move on. The annual climate summit, COP29, kicked off in Baku, Azerbaijan yesterday, adopting its first landmark move of approving new standards for the global carbon market. Sonal is joining in with us to take us through what's happened on day one of this meet. Sonal?
Thank you so much for that. And it has been an action-packed day one at COP29. By the end of the day, nations approved new standards on carbon markets, something that was expected by governments all across the world. Now, carbon credit regulations would allow countries to trade credits in order to meet their climate targets, and the benchmarks would allow for development of rules which would include calculating how many credits a project can receive that can be set off against their polluting activities. This regulation is important as countries, they've been asking for regulations to offset emissions by purchasing credits from nations that have cut greenhouse gas emissions. The view is it would largely help wealthier nations who are also big polluters. But not everything is finalized. A separate article on the trade of carbon credits between individual nations will be addressed later in the COP29 negotiations. These rules are expected to reduce the risk of double counting emissions, which has been a big problem for the industry, and they've been facing it because of lack of regulations. Now remember, these regulations were rejected at last year's COP in Dubai. And that's why critics are not happy and call it a rushed approval. They're asking for granular details and better regulations. Now, voluntary markets, they've been facing the issues around lack of standardized regulations, very fragmented and complex markets, and since accounting policy differed, it led to double counting as well. These regulations aim to address that, but we'll need more details and final regulations to understand how helpful this new standard will be for big global emitters.
Okay, Sonal, thank you so much for that. More updates will be coming in soon. Thanks for that. But moving on, and let's actually